You're listening to KEXP, where the music matters. You can find us at 90.3 FM in Seattle, 92.7 FM in the Bay Area, streaming worldwide at kexp.org and also on the KEXP mobile apps. I'm Cheryl Waters. I'm here in the KEXP studios with an artist that we love so much, are so happy to have here with us today. It's the Weather Station. Welcome back.
Thank you.
I am absolutely loving this new album, Humanhood, and very excited you're going to be playing songs from that today. You ready?
Yeah, totally.
It's the Weather Station live on KEXP.
gotten used to feeling like I'm crazy or just lazy. But can I get off this floor, think straight anymore? Out on the street, when walking in a punishing heat, nobody meets my eyes except witty signs and luxury designs. Every neon sign, every flashing light tries to fool you, get you on their side. Everybody swears they need you, and only you to make the buy. You feel flattered to be wanted and you don't know why. It reminds me of that look in your eyes. Never enough in a world without trust, having to rely upon the honesty of lust. Oh, like it's almost the same as love. Every neon sign, every flashing light tried to fool me. There I was, just stretching out my mind to take in every wounded story. Nothing needs you so badly as a lie, so lonely drifting removed from real life, begging somebody to keep it alive. Living rough in a world without trust, having to rely upon the lightning flash of lust. You had to make yourself wanted to get what you wanted. Now you got me this broken price, clinging to you but blank in the eyes. One is a feeling you can't take alive. Till I feel out of desire, like a slip knot. I feel out of desire, nothing caught. I feel out of the fire, wasn't even hard. I could feel nothing, 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 not. I was honest, you tried to direct it, but it was connected to something I can't explain. Immersed in all my pain, like a root in a ceiling drain, breaking apart everything. I never knew it. I tried so hard to cut through it. Ooh, living rough in a world without trust, determined, broken open, and refusing to adjust. Oh, I swear to God, I saw real love once. Nothing needs you so badly as a lie, so lonely drifting removed from real life. If nobody believes it, all it can do is die. is the end of the world. You said your body fooled you, your body moved you out, and now you can't go home again. You're crying, you're so confused why your body fooled you, your body moved you out of that thing that you were in. And cold, sweet blood in your arms, you want somebody, you caused the harm, you made it so you had to confess, 'cause you can't hide that bad mess. You're high in space now, you messed around and you failed the test, you made it so you had to undress the body that's beneath all of theirs. There's a end of the world. Your eyes, they fool you, your eyes, they move you now. You've seen way too far. Scared, lost, under duress, you're begging someone for forgiveness. You don't know what you had to address. Your body fooled you, body moved you. Yes, now what you had to do was figure out why it had to fool you. Were you lost? How were you blind? Were you trying too hard to be kind? Was it truth? Was it lies? Was it some kind of trap that you devised to keep yourself from getting out? Ooh, but it hurt so much. You thought you knew what it was you loved. Then again, look at this mess. Your body fooled you, body moved you, yes. Don't know quite where to begin. I know it don't look like I'm doing anything. A mess of scraps, colors clash, I know. I'm sewing together a day from these hours, and the way you touched my hand just now, the things you say in blue. It don't look like much from here. There's no straight lines, nothing that clear. Aimless days, bad moods, the changes I can't get used to. together here. From boredom, from love, from fear and magnolia petals on the ground, pink on brown on the street. Some people don't wanna see the seams. They want it all done by machine, straight and plain, no traces of making. But no 2 days are ever the same. Sometimes I get hit by a shattering pain. I won't try to forget, I'm going to include it in this undulating thing. Whatever it is I'm making, from pride and shame, beauty and guilt, sewing together a quilt. Too late for perfection to clean up the mess, too late to take it all back, I guess. All I can do is sew it into this undulating thing. Whatever it is I'm making with you, a life I'll sew in tonight too. Perfection to clean up the mess, too late to take it all back, I guess. All I can do is sew it in too. I'm dyeing the watercolors blue. I'm trying to show to you something I saw and can't explain. Tulips pushed over by rain. I'm looking again in your eyes. I'm drunk again on the gentle light. It falls all down my body, all down my face. I swear I can feel it. I swear that I taste strawberries at the height of June. The gifts I wanted to give you, 'cause you saved my life. I'll sew in that too tonight.
So beautiful. The Weather Station live on KEXP. Songs from the new album Humanhood, out on Fat Possum Record. It was a gift to us at the beginning of 2025. Thank you.
Thank you.
And such a gift to have you here today. I wanted to ask about the song Sewing. I was going to wait till a little bit later, but let's just jump right in while I'm just feeling verklempt right now. That's the final song on the album. It is such a stunner. And you said at one point that it was your favorite song and you felt like it was a gift and came to you when you needed it. And if you could only sing one song forever, you might have just said that in the moment, but something made you feel that way, that would just be one song that you could sing over and over. Tell me why that one resonates with you so deeply.
I mean, yeah, I meant it. I really mean it on a lot of levels. I think a song like that, it's like I can turn it upside down and see it in many different ways. It feels like a sort of prescription for myself or the world. You know, I think it holds a lot in it. You know, I think a lot about. It came out of a time where I felt like the narrative or the story had sort of broken apart, which happens to everyone. And when that happens, it's like you're searching for something direct or something black and white, and you can't find it because life is actually so complex. And I used to have this like crazy quilt that I bought at a thrift store on my wall, and I thought of that crazy quilt, which is just like literally a mess of scraps and all the colors don't match, but it's so beautiful. And I sort of found that in my own life as this beautiful visual metaphor for what it is to try and live a life as a imperfect human in a very imperfect world. And it's sort of like this process, like living life is a process of sewing together all of these pieces you find and allowing yourself to recognize that it's not all one story, it's not all one thing. You know, and I think, too, the lines about, like, too late for perfection to clean up the mess. Like, all I can do is sew it in, too. It's like the experience you have or the things you see in the world. Sometimes you cannot exile the things you wish weren't there. You have to find a way to make sense of what is.
Well, what a beautiful way to end this beautiful album. And you mentioned the narrative there. And I understand that you had a lot of songs that you had written for this record that were really important to you, though, to make the record fit in 45 minutes. And you really, really loved some of those songs, but I understand that the narrative sort of drives what you're going to let go and what you're going to keep. Can you talk a little bit about that and where the narrative took you on Humanhood?
Yeah, I started to see pretty early on that I wanted it to be very cinematic. I wanted it to flow from beginning to end, and it sort of starts in disconnection and sort of darkness and confusion, and then by the end, it returns to sort of feeling more embodied and more connected. And so it's like the beginning is all of the sort of confusion songs, and then it moves through this sort of like shattering, breaking down intensity, and then into this like softness and beauty at the end, which to me mirrors sort of an experience of healing, an experience of coming from a dark place back into a warm place. You have to sort of break some things apart, and then you have to find your way back to fragility and vulnerability in order to reconnect.
Well, talking about coming from that dark place to a warm place, there's a lot of contrast in this album. I feel like there's quiet and loud parts and electronic instruments, and there's the synth and drum machines, but then you have the acoustic drums and the beautiful sax, Karen, the sax and flute. Amazing. And I wanted to know if you could talk a little bit about how you played around with that contrast, because I feel like reading in interviews that was very intentional and something you were having a lot of fun with.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted it to feel, I think a lot about how the digital world is sort of invading the real world, you know, and so I wanted to return to this motif of like the synthetic and the organic sort of like almost in a battle, I guess. And in the beginning of the record, for example, Karen played flute, and then we turned the flute into MIDI and used it to trigger a synth. So it's like this like synthesizer is trying to do this like bad approximation of this beautiful, vibrant, organic sound. And so I wanted to kind of go back and forth between these two poles and then ultimately land in the most organic place. And yeah, just sort of like that feeling of the digital world and the real world sort of wavering back and forth.
I understand that the title of the album was the first thing that came to you and that it was very important to you from the beginning. What led you to the idea of humanhood?
Well, I wrote a song for the self-titled record that I said it as a lyric, like I improvised it, and I didn't think it was a real word, so I took it out. And then years later, I realized it was a word, and I was like, how is it possible that there is this one word that can sum up, you know, the eternal artistic topic of like the human condition, you know, one's humanhood. I just loved that it's this one word that describes something we all have or carry or wear. I love the sort of pun of the hood in the word. And I just felt like it was this thing I could put out into the world, which, as I say, is becoming, there's this confusion of like the digital world and AI sort of invading our society and our culture. And I loved the idea of drawing attention to like something that we all share, which is being human. And this sort of like this word that's unusual, it kind of felt like it recontextualized the concept of it for me, of like my humanhood, you know, like my reality of being human. I sound very spacey when I say all of this, but yeah, I just loved, I love too that when I think of the hood words, I think of like teenagehood or like childhood, like these messy, imperfect things that we pass through, and thinking of humanhood as that also I found interesting.
Well, you have said that this is ultimately a record about what it means to be human, and there is so much feeling and meaning and humanity packed into these 13 songs. I feel like that you put a lot of thought into the lyrics on your record, or all of your records, and that you're really speaking your truth. What do you hope that people will take away from this record? Because I've taken away a lot from many of your records.
Yeah, I mean, I turn to lyrics for insight, you know, myself. Like what I'm looking for is some piece of wisdom about someone else's experience of being human. I've realized that's what I turn to them for. And so this record, I think, has a lot of pieces. But the through line, I suppose, is, you know, it's beginning in this sort of dark mirror world that I think, you know, we're experiencing in the world right now, of like things becoming opposites, you know, this like polarity, this reflection, this projection. And, you know, in the second song, it's like nothing needs you so badly as a lie, I think is one of the key lyrics. Just noticing how something that's false or like a bad story has this sort of dark power in the world, and it ensnares us and it pulls us in. And then over the course of the record, I'm sort of trying to break that apart in order to come back to what I see as like my very messy, real humanity, as embodied in the last couple songs. Which, you know, the thing about, you know, the dark story is it always seeks to exclude things, and yet the thing about being human is that it does, you know, the human condition is imperfect and complex, and you know, so I suppose, yeah, it's hard to say what to take away from it, but that's sort of the through line that I think feels most relevant to the world right now.
Well, your albums are always so thought-provoking and give me so much to think about. I mean, Ignorance was just a masterpiece, and Climate Grief. And one of the things I love that you did in that record, which you also do in this one, is you not only talk about the situation and the severity of the situation, but what an emotional toll it takes on us. And you're always sort of talking about the humanhood of the experience.
Yeah, I think that first-person lyrics and like, you know, there is an element of like, well, that's what I know. You know, I can say how I feel, but I also feel that there's something when someone else is expressing how they feel, it allows you to enter the story in a different way than if someone was to preach or tell you something. You know, it's like there's something about the first-person narrative that's, I think, how we all relate in a way. And also it's just kind of, I'm still in some way a singer-songwriter. I'm still turning to music to express myself. So I end up writing about my feelings. But then it's interesting, especially on these last two records, where my feelings are, I think, very much shaped by the world around me and the things that I'm experiencing are shaped by being sensitive in this world specifically right now. So it ends up feeling topical, whether I intend it or not.
It's the Weather Station live on KEXP. Tamara, thank you and your band so much for bringing these beautiful songs to KEXP.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
The new album from the Weather Station called Humanhood, absolutely gorgeous, out on Fat Possum Records. Thank you so much to the band for this magnificent performance today, and thank you to all of our listeners and viewers. You make these sessions possible. KEXP is listener-powered. You can make a gift anytime in support of great music discovery at kexp.org. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll let you know every time we launch a wonderful new video. A big thank you once again, the Weather Station live on KEXP. Discover new music at listener-powered kexp.org.